Good morning. I wanted to show a picture of myself from freshman year on my first day of school, but I decided the embarrassment was too much to do alone. Sorry, Molly. I've struggled with what to say in this chapel for quite some time. I struggled with this so much because sitting in this chapel are roughly 400 students and teachers, and it feels impossible to write a speech that draws a connection with each one of you. So I acknowledge that what I have to say today may resonate with you, or it may not. But it's been my journey in its truest form, and I hope my story helps you all to understand the honest path of a Brooke student. I've always considered myself a pleaser and a goal-oriented person. If I set my mind to something, I am going to accomplish it no matter what. This trait did not make me very popular when I was younger for obvious reasons, and it is something I learned to control, for the most part. So naturally, when I stepped foot on campus my freshman year, I was armed with many goals. I would make the soccer team, have a great group of friends, pick up a lacrosse stick, and attempt to survive Mr. Hessey's physics class. I can now say I achieved my goals, but with varying amounts of success. These are what I refer to as workable goals, things I felt I was capable of if I worked hard enough. Throughout my time at Brooks, I also set daily goals: winning a game, getting ahead on homework, fixing a misunderstanding with a friend. As I progressed through Brooks, my goals shifted dramatically, and I noticed that I began to change along with them. The truth is, the goals you set in the first week of high school are not set in stone. You find things along the way you love and are passionate about, and you may discover the thing that as a freshman you couldn't live without may not be as important to you as a senior. Adaptation is a normal part of growth, and without the ability to adapt, our goals would remain singularly focused and closed-minded, because in reality, you have to be okay with the fact that life at Brooks, just like life in general, doesn't always work out how you thought it would. The changes you see in yourself and goals happen gradually, and oftentimes you aren't the catalyst for the change in your life. It has been my experience at Brooks that the faculty here know you better than you know yourself, and oftentimes see things in you before you can recognize them in yourself. Mr. Smith is a huge example of this in my life. He has been a math teacher here for 2 years, although around campus that's definitely not what he's most known for. As a coach of the varsity rowing team, Mr. Smith saw something in me freshman year that he thought would make me successful in a sport I'd never heard of before stepping on campus. Being immature and unwilling, I initially denied this calling and thought there was no way this teacher who barely knew me could know enough to tell what I would be good at. Now, fast forward 2 years, and I can truly say this sport and Mr. Smith have taught me so much about myself, and I am now willing to admit that maybe, possibly, he could have been right. It is because of teachers like Mr. Smith and many others that have helped me truly understand the effect Brooks has had on me as an athlete, but also a student. When I came to Brooks, I had my heart set on the sciences. I would be an AP Bio my junior year, do the Mass General internship over the summer, and be a pre-med student in college. All of this was, of course, decided before I had taken a single high school science course. Little did I know, my senior year, I would be doubling in English and dropping science altogether. But like I said, things almost never happen like you once thought they would. Although I have definitely experienced immense change in my academic aspirations in my time here, the most profound change I've seen is in myself, in my confidence and level of comfort within myself. I was never a shy child, but I was awkward and unsure of myself when I sat in this chapel 3 years ago watching the senior prefect give his speech. I sat here thinking I could never, ever speak in front of that many people. My sophomore year, I still possessed this fear of public speaking, and we had just finished up winter term when I received an email from Mrs. Konovalchik asking me to speak at revisit day about my winter term course. Immediately, I panicked. I had never written a speech, I had never spoken for that long about anything, and never spoken in front of that many people. Mrs. K assured me I would be great and everything would work out, but I could feel my hands shaking and my face turning red as I stood at the podium just 2 years ago. Having said all of this, I still stand here equipped with shaky hands and academic aspirations that are sure to change, because growth is gradual and is never finished, and I am nowhere near done. However, as I've matured and learned to trust my gut, I've seen my path be fine-tuned. I am no Mia Hamm, but I am a supporting player on a successful team. I may not be a surgeon, but the passion I've found in English and history has piqued my interest. The people I've met and the friendships I've made in this place far surpass my freshman goal of making friends. We celebrate in the good times, but more importantly, we are there for each other in the tough moments. And I wouldn't trade these last 3 years with these people for anything. This environment fosters deep and lasting relationships that I'm confident I'll have for a lifetime. This school has taught me so much, but I know I have so much more to learn in my final year. So, whether you're experiencing this place for the first time, preparing for all of the last times, or if you're somewhere between the beginning and the end, where nothing feels more important than getting through the coming weeks unscathed, I hope you try to keep yourself open to the thought that the best laid plans don't always pan out, but that doesn't mean it's not worth making plans. Oftentimes, it's the unscheduled events and the unforeseen opportunities that provide the most personal growth. But most importantly, be open to this school and to these people and all the ways they're supposed to help you grow. Thank you.